Alright Bears fans, no need to hit the panic button just yet. Training camp is kicking off and there's a lot of buzz swirling around Jaylen Johnson being placed on the non-football injury list or NFI over the weekend. Naturally, this sparked a ton of questions and speculation. Is he hurt? What's really going on? Before jumping to conclusions, let's clarify exactly what the NFI list means in the NFL world. According to the league's own rules, this list is meant for players who can't take part in football activities due to injuries or illnesses that happen outside of team-related events. That could mean anything from an injury during off-season workouts, a mishap in a recreational activity, or even a pre-existing condition that isn't tied to football itself. The timing of Jaylen Johnson landing on that list raised some eyebrows, especially since it came just a day after he shared his thoughts on the quarterback market explosion. During an appearance on The Rich Eisen Show, fans started wondering if there was a link between those comments and his sudden move to NFI. Was he trying to send a message about his contract? Maybe he wanted more guaranteed money? Or a new deal altogether? Some feared he might refuse to practice until his demands were met. But here's the thing, the NFL's rules around the NFI list make it pretty clear that players can't just use it as leverage for contract negotiations. It's supposed to be strictly about actual injuries or illnesses outside team activities. Now, I'm not naive. I know sometimes things don't always play out perfectly by the book. But based on what we know, there's no solid reason to believe Jaylen's placement on NFI is some sort of stunt. To get a better sense, let's rewind to what Jaylen actually said in that interview. He talked about watching other corners getting paid big money and hinted that he might want to revisit his own contracts soon, saying the market is moving fast. Of course, that got Bears fans a little nervous. He seemed aware of his worth and where other players like Stingley and Sauce are financially. But again, linking those comments directly to the NFI list seems like a stretch. Brad Biggs, a trusted source in Bears circles, weighed in to say there's no contract connection with Jaylen's NFI status. If you ask me, that's a relief. It means there's probably no drama behind the scenes, at least not yet. Veterans like Jaylen typically don't even have to report until later this week. So being on the NFI list right now isn't unusual or necessarily a sign of trouble. If the real story emerges that he misses practice on Wednesday or doesn't show up for camp entirely, then we can start asking serious questions about injury or contract disputes. Until then, I think it's wise to hold off on jumping to conclusions. There could be a bunch of reasons for this move that have nothing to do with football. Maybe Jaylen needs some extra time in California to take care of family matters or other personal stuff. We don't know for sure, and sometimes players just need a couple of days off for legitimate reasons. So Bears fans, take a deep breath. The guy sounded ready to hit the field in that interview, so there's no clear cause for concern right now. Now, looking at his contract, it's clear Jaylen is watching the market closely. He signed a 4-year deal worth $76 million with over $54 million guaranteed, which sounds like a solid deal. But when you compare it to what some of his peers are making, Stingley and Sauce pulling in $30 million a year, or J.C. Horn earning $25 million, it's understandable he might feel like he deserves more guaranteed money, especially because after this season, none of his current guaranteed money remains. All the guaranteed cash was front-loaded into the first 2 years of his contract, meaning if things go south, he could be on the hook without any guaranteed protection in years 3 and 4. If you ask me, that's a legitimate concern. The NFL is a tough business and guaranteed money is a huge deal when it comes to financial security. But here's the catch: Jaylen signed that contract just a year ago, so holding out now would be a tough pill to swallow. Usually players are advised to play out their deals at least halfway before pushing for renegotiations. That way they prove their worth on the field and can negotiate from a stronger position. If he had a breakout year and the Bears made some noise as a team, that would definitely add fuel to his argument for more guarantees. Otherwise, it might look like he's jumping the gun. This isn't to say Jaylen doesn't have a valid gripe. The landscape of cornerback contracts is shifting rapidly, and being paid fairly is important for every player. But from a team and fan perspective, patience is key. Get through this season, show what you can do, and then let's talk again. Moving on from Jaylen, he's not the only Bear on the NFI list. There's Jay Walker, an undrafted rookie receiver who's caught some attention lately. My guess is that he may have tweaked something minor during off-season workouts or training activities. Rookies just reported a few days ago, and all of them undergo thorough physicals. If something popped up during those exams, it's standard to put a player on the NFI list while they recover. It's probably nothing serious but worth keeping an eye on to see if he'll be ready to contribute soon. Ian Wheeler is another name on the list. He's coming off an ACL tear from last season, so this placement might be precautionary. Maybe he re-aggravated the injury during recent workouts. Typically, if a player has a fresh foot bow-related injury, they go on the physically unable to perform list or PUP. Since Wheeler is on NFI instead, it suggests the team is being cautious but optimistic that he'll be back to full speed before long. Considering the running back spot is still pretty wide open, his health and availability could become a key factor in camp battles. Interestingly, veteran quarterback Case Keenum was briefly put on the NFI list the day rookies reported, but was taken off the list the very next day. This move probably reflects a minor delay, maybe a family vacation or some personal time, rather than any real injury issue. Quarterbacks report with rookies, so it's normal for teams to make quick roster adjustments around that time. Since he's off the list now and presumably on the field, that's one less question mark for the Bears at that position. Shifting gears a bit, the NFC North is already feeling the sting of injuries. The Detroit Lions have suffered a tough blow, with Levi Onwuzurike, their defensive tackle, who's out for the season with an ACL injury. That's a big loss for a player they resigned for $5 million during free agency. While it's not a star-level name like you'd see with a superstar losing a key run stopper, like that hurts over a long grind-out NFL season, it's reminiscent of what happened to the Bears last year with the loss of Billings, a role player whose absence was felt on defense. Injuries have been the biggest hurdle for the Lions in recent years. Despite showing flashes of being one of the top teams, the constant avalanche of setbacks has kept them from fully realizing their potential. On top of that, their left tackle Taylor Decker is dealing with some nagging injuries, though. Reports say he should be back practicing after the Hall of Fame game at the end of July. That's good news for Detroit because the Bears face the Lions in week 2, so hopefully Decker will be ready to protect the quarterback come kickoff. Injuries are always part of the game, and while no one likes to see key players sidelined, they're inevitable. The Bears will face their own battles with health this season, but hopefully they can avoid losing anyone critical early on. Luck plays a huge role in that aspect. Now looking ahead at the NFC North, race opinions are already flying. Some believe the Bears could make a leap from worst to first, others think the Lions might continue their recent dominance, and the Packers and Vikings have their supporters too. It's shaping up to be an exciting division battle with no clear-cut favorite just yet. So as training camp rolls on, keep your eyes peeled for updates on Jaylen Johnson and the other players navigating injuries and contracts. This offseason is full of twists, and the Bears' story is just beginning to unfold. As the Bears continue to navigate the complexities of training camp, one cannot overlook the broader context of their roster dynamics and the evolving NFL landscape that surrounds them, beyond the immediate concerns of Jaylen Johnson's status on the non-football injury list and the health of other key players. There's a tapestry of strategic considerations playing out behind the scenes. The Bears' front office, coaching staff, and player leadership are all engaged in a delicate balancing act, managing expectations, potential breakout performances, and the constant threat of injuries, all while preparing for a season that many believe could redefine the team's trajectory. One of the central themes this offseason has been the recalibration of the Bears' defense. Historically known for their gritty, hard-nosed defensive identity, the team has undergone notable shifts in personnel and scheme that warrant closer inspection. The departures and additions of several players have forced the coaching staff to rethink their approach, especially given the evolving offensive trends league-wide. The rise of versatile pass-heavy offenses means the Bears' secondary and linebacker cores must be more adaptable, athletic, and fundamentally sound than ever before. Jaylen Johnson as a starting cornerback embodies much of that evolution. His skill set is tailored to match up against dynamic wide receivers who run precise routes and possess elite speed. His ability to play man coverage, disguise his intentions, and contribute in run support makes him a vital piece of the defensive puzzle. However, the pressure to perform consistently at a high level, coupled with the financial realities of his contract, place a significant spotlight on him. Johnson's development and health will arguably be a bellwether for the defense's overall success. The Bears' linebacker group, meanwhile, is undergoing a quiet but important transformation. The team has invested in youth and versatility, looking for players who can cover ground, quickly drop into coverage seamlessly, and make tackles near the line of scrimmage. The competition in training camp will be fierce, with both veterans looking to maintain their roles and younger players eager to prove they belong. The depth chart is fluid, and the coaching staff has emphasized the importance of adaptability and football IQ. Offensively, the Bears have made strides, but still face critical questions that will define their success this season. Quarterback play remains a hot topic among fans and analysts alike. While the starter possesses a strong arm and a competitive edge, consistency and decision-making under pressure are areas that demand improvement. The supporting cast around him, including wide receivers, tight ends, and the offensive line, must rise to the occasion to provide protection, create separation, and sustain drives. One intriguing aspect to watch is how the Bears integrate their rookie class into the offensive scheme. Several young players have shown promise in the preseason, demonstrating athleticism, route-running savvy, and an eagerness to contribute. However, rookies often face steep learning curves adjusting to the pace and complexity of the NFL. The coaching staff has indicated that they value development over rushing young talent onto the field prematurely, but the competitive nature of the position battles may necessitate early contributions. The offensive line, a perennial area of concern for the Bears, has seen both hope and uncertainty this offseason. Injuries and inconsistent play have hampered continuity in previous years, and the team has worked hard to shore up depth and improve technique during off-season workouts. The return of key starters from injury is a positive sign, but their ability to stay healthy and gel as a unit will be crucial. Protecting the quarterback and establishing a reliable run game are foundational goals that hinge heavily on the line's performance. Special teams, often an overlooked but critical phase of the game, also merit attention. The Bears have invested in coaching and personnel aimed at enhancing coverage units, return game effectiveness, and kicking accuracy. A strong special teams unit can swing momentum in close games and provide hidden yardage advantages. The coaching staff has stressed discipline, communication, and execution during special teams drills, signaling their intent to improve in this phase. From a leadership perspective, the Bears have emphasized fostering a cohesive team culture. Veteran players are encouraged to mentor younger teammates, instilling professionalism, accountability, and resilience. The locker room environment is reportedly positive, with open communication between players and coaches. This intangible aspect often correlates with on-field success, as teams with strong leadership and unity can weather adversity more effectively. As training camp progresses, the health of key players remains a focal point. Injuries, even minor ones, can ripple through a team's depth chart, forcing coaches to adjust game plans and personnel groupings. The Bears' medical and training staff are tasked with monitoring player wellness, closely balancing recovery with readiness. Preventing injuries through conditioning, load management, and proper technique is an ongoing effort. One intriguing subplot this season is how the Bears approach their contract negotiations with various players beyond Jaylen Johnson. The NFL's financial landscape is constantly shifting, with salary caps, guaranteed money, and player incentives playing pivotal roles. The front office must navigate these waters, carefully balancing the need to reward performance with maintaining flexibility to address future roster needs. Fans will be watching closely to see how the team handles extensions, restructures, and potential trades. Looking beyond the Bears' own situation, the competitive landscape of the NFC North continues to evolve. The Lions' injury woes, including the loss of Levi Onwuzurike, have somewhat tempered expectations for Detroit, but they remain a team with talent and potential. The Packers, rebuilding around their new quarterback and draft class, could surprise or struggle depending on how quickly their young players develop. The Vikings, with their own mix of veterans and newcomers, will be looking to make a playoff push. The Bears must not only improve internally, but also be prepared to face stiff competition within the division. Media narratives and fan expectations can sometimes create added pressure, but the Bears coaching staff has emphasized focusing on controllable factors. Execution on the field, effort in practice, and learning from mistakes are the priorities. They recognize that success in the NFL often comes down to preparation, adaptability, and resilience over a grueling 17-game schedule. Mentally, players are working to maintain focus amid the distractions that inevitably rise during a high-profile training camp. From contract rumors to social media speculation, the ability to stay grounded and committed to team goals is critical. Leadership from coaches and veterans in this regard cannot be overstated. The upcoming preseason games will serve as valuable measuring sticks for evaluating the Bears' progress. Coaches will assess not only star players, but also depth contributors and special teams performers. Game situations offer insights that practice cannot fully replicate, particularly under the pressures and unpredictability of live competition. These contests will help shape the final 5 3-man roster and practice squad. Fans meanwhile remain hungry for glimpses of hope and signs that the Bears can recapture their competitive edge. The last few seasons have been a roller coaster with flashes of brilliance tempered by frustrating setbacks. This season more than ever feels like a turning point, a chance to build momentum and redefine the team's identity in a tough division. Ultimately, the journey through training camp and the regular season will be a test of character for the Bears organization. The interplay of talent, health, coaching, and mental toughness will determine whether they can rise to the challenge. Patience and persistence will be required, but the potential for growth and success is real. As the days pass, each practice meeting and interaction contributes to the larger story of the Bears season. The narrative is still being written, and while uncertainties remain, the foundation is there for something special. With the right mix of effort, strategy, and a bit of luck, the Bears could surprise many and ignite a new chapter in their storied franchise history. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy, drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The NFL world is buzzing with speculation following a shocking headline that's been making the rounds. Justin Herbert, the standout quarterback known for his powerful arm and calm demeanor, could be heading to the Chicago Bears. Although no official confirmation has come from the team or the player himself, the rumor mill is spinning rapidly, sending waves through fans and analysts alike. Herbert, who has already proven himself as one of the most promising young QBs in the league, has been at the center of trade talks ever since the Bears began searching for a franchise quarterback. Chicago's struggles under center in recent seasons have been well documented, and the possibility of acquiring a talent like Herbert has reignited hope among Bears supporters craving a return to competitiveness. The whispers started after some anonymous sources hinted at serious discussions behind closed doors, with the Bears front office reportedly eager to make a splash this offseason. Considering Herbert's contract situation and the Bears' draft capital, many are speculating that a blockbuster trade might be in the works. Such a move would shake up the NFC North and potentially alter the trajectory of both the Bears and the team currently housing Herbert. For Chicago, landing Herbert would represent a significant upgrade at quarterback, a position that has long been a source of instability. His ability to extend plays combined with a sharp football IQ could be exactly what the Bears need to revitalize an offense that has struggled to find consistency. Meanwhile, Herbert's presence might also attract other key offensive pieces to the Windy City, creating a more dynamic and exciting team. On the other hand, questions linger about whether the Bears have the assets to pull off a trade for a quarterback of Herbert's caliber. Teams typically demand significant compensation for such a prized player, and it remains to be seen what the Bears would have to give up. Some insiders suggest that the Bears could be willing to part with high draft picks or promising young talent, a gamble that could pay off big if Herbert lives up to expectations. There's also the matter of Herbert's fit within the Bears' offensive scheme. While his talent is undeniable, the coaching staff would need to tailor the playbook to maximize his strengths, something that might require an adjustment period. Still, the potential upside is undeniable, and for a franchise desperate to turn things around, it's a risk worth considering. As of now, all parties involved remain tight-lipped, but the excitement and anticipation are palpable.